Hannah woke up with a headache. The metal floor under her was cold and rough. Her hands were tied behind her back with some kind of energy rope that glowed blue. She tried to remember what happened before she got here. She was on patrol with her team near the edge of human space. They were checking an old space station that had gone quiet. Everything seemed normal until the lights went out. Then something hit her from behind. Now she was here, wherever here was. Hannah looked around. She was in a small cage made of clear crystal. Outside the cage was the biggest room she had ever seen. It was round like a bowl, with seats going up and up in circles. Thousands of aliens sat in those seats, maybe millions. She had never seen so many different kinds of aliens in one place. Some aliens had 4 arms. Others had no arms at all, just long necks with big heads. There were creatures that looked like giant bugs. Some aliens floated in the air without wings. Others were so bright they hurt to look at. The noise they made was terrible. Clicking, roaring, whistling, and sounds she had no words for. Where the hell am I? Hannah said to herself. A voice spoke in her head. It did not come from her ears. The voice was inside her brain, speaking perfect English. Welcome, primitive being, to the Apex Predator Championship Arena of Nexus Prime Station. Hannah looked up above. The center of the big room was a floating metal ball covered in lights. The ball had to be the size of a house. You have been chosen for the great honor of fighting the galaxy's most deadly creatures. Your death will bring joy to billions of viewers across known space. Well, that's nice, Hannah said. She did not sound worried. And you are? I am Crix Arena, master of the Vorthok Empire. I have watched 1,000 species die in this arena. I have seen warriors with skin like metal and claws like swords. I have seen creatures that can burn through solid rock with their breath. All of them died screaming. Hannah tried to stand up. The energy ropes around her hands made it hard, but she got to her feet. She was still wearing her military uniform. It was torn in a few places, but it was still good. That sounds exciting, she said. Do you have anything to drink? I'm really thirsty. The noise from the crowd got quieter. Thousands of alien eyes looked at her. You do not understand, Crix said. You are about to die. Most beings beg for mercy at this point. Others try to make deals, some just cry. Hannah looked around at all the aliens watching her. She smiled and waved at them like she was at a party. Look, Crix, right. I get it. Big scary arena, lots of monsters, death and doom. But I'm really thirsty. And hungry too, now that I think about it. When was the last time I ate? She tried to remember. Maybe 12 hours ago. No wonder I feel weird. Crix's voice sounded confused. Are you broken? Did the capture process damage your brain? My brain is fine. I just have priorities. Food and water first, then we can talk about fighting. Whatever you want me to fight. The crowd was completely quiet now. In all the years this arena had been running, no one had ever asked for snacks before a deathmatch. Very well, Crix said. If you wish to eat before you die, so be it. A small hole opened in the crystal cage. A robot arm came through with a metal tray. On the tray was some kind of blue food that looked like pudding and a cup of clear water. Hannah picked up the cup and smelled it. It smelled like nothing, which was good. She drank it all in 3 big gulps. The blue food tasted like chicken, if chicken was made of plastic. But she ate it anyway. Not bad, she said, wiping her mouth. Thanks. Now, what's this about fighting monsters? You will face the greatest predators in the galaxy. Creatures that have killed millions, beasts that entire starfleets fear to approach. Sounds fun. Hannah looked at her tied hands. Can you take these off? I can't fight very well with my hands tied. You would try to escape. Where would I go? I'm on a space station in the middle of nowhere, right? Besides, you said you want me to fight things. I can't fight with my hands tied behind my back. That would be boring for your audience. Crix was quiet for a moment. The energy ropes around Hannah's hands disappeared. Hannah rubbed her wrists and moved her fingers to get the feeling back. Much better. So, what's the plan? Do I get a weapon? Or do I fight with my bare hands? Warriors may choose from the weapon rack before each battle. Good to know. Hannah did some stretches. Her back was stiff from lying on the metal floor. How does this work? Do I fight one monster at a time, or do you throw them all at me at once? One at a time. If you somehow survive, the next creature will be stronger. Makes sense. Got to? Give the crowd a good show. Hannah looked up at the millions of aliens watching her. Hey everyone, hope you enjoy this. Some of the aliens made sounds that might have been cheering. Others just stared. The crystal cage around Hannah started to disappear. Now she was standing on a large metal platform in the center of the arena. The platform was maybe 50 feet across. Around the edge was a deep pit that glowed red. Your first opponent approaches, Crix announced. A gate on the far side of the arena opened. Something big moved in the darkness behind the gate. Hannah cracked her knuckles and rolled her shoulders. Finally, I was starting to get bored. The thing that came out of the gate was 12 feet tall and covered in black scales. It had 6 legs, each ending in claws as long as swords. Its mouth had 3 rows of teeth, and acid dripped from between them. When the acid hit the metal floor, it made holes. The crowd went wild. This was the Razor Maw, one of the most feared creatures in the galaxy. Hannah looked at it and tilted her head to one side. Huh, she said. It's bigger than I expected, but not by much. The Razor Maw roared. The sound made the arena shake. Hannah yawned. Well, she said, walking toward the weapon rack, let's get this over with. Hannah walked to the weapon rack like she was shopping for groceries. The Razor Maw behind her was making angry noises and scraping its claws on the metal floor. The sound was like nails on a chalkboard, but louder. The weapon rack had many choices. There were energy swords that glowed bright blue. There were guns that shot plasma bolts. There were hammers bigger than her whole body. There was even a whip made of pure electricity. Hannah picked up a simple metal pipe. It was about 3 feet long and felt solid in her hands. Really? Crix's voice said in her head. That is what you choose. A piece of metal. It's got good weight, Hannah said, swinging the pipe a few times. Balance is nice too. Sometimes simple is better. The crowd made confused noises. No one had ever picked the most basic weapon before. The Razor Maw got tired of waiting. It charged at Hannah with all 6 legs moving fast. Its claws left deep marks in the metal floor. Acid flew from its mouth as it roared. Hannah waited until it was almost on top of her. Then she stepped to the side. The creature was moving too fast to stop. It ran straight into the arena wall with a loud crash. The whole building shook. Seconds, Hannah said, looking at a timer on the wall. That's got to be some kind of record. The Razor Maw was not dead yet. It got back up and shook its head. Black blood came from its nose. It looked angry. Round 2, I guess, Hannah said. This time, the creature was more careful. It walked around her in a circle. Its 6 legs moved like a spider. Acid dripped from its mouth and made small holes in the floor. Hannah stood in the center and turned to keep facing it. She held the metal pipe with both hands like a baseball bat. The Razor Maw jumped at her from the side. Its claws were aimed at her head. Hannah ducked down and swung the pipe up. The pipe hit the creature under its chin. There was a sound like breaking glass. The creature's head snapped back, and it fell on the ground. It did not get up again. The arena was completely quiet. No one made any sound at all. Is it dead? Hannah asked. She poked the creature with her foot. Yeah, it's dead. She looked up at the floating ball where Crix was. Next, it took Crix a moment to answer. That was the Razor Maw. It has killed over 200 arena fighters. Well, now, it's killed 0, Hannah said. Unless you count itself. Can we move on? I'm starting to get interested. The gate opened again. This time, nothing came out. The arena stayed empty. Where's my next opponent? Hannah asked. It is here, Crix said. You cannot see it. Oh, invisible. That's more like it. The air near Hannah started to move strangely. It looked like heat waves coming off hot concrete. Something was there, but she could not see what it was. The Shadow Stalker, Crix announced. It exists between dimensions. It can walk through walls, dodge any attack, and strike without warning. Neat trick, Hannah said. She walked back to the weapon rack and put down the metal pipe. She picked up something that looked like a flashlight, but bigger. What is that? Crix asked. Electromagnetic Pulse Device, EMP for short. Hannah looked at the strange moving air. If this thing is made of energy, then energy weapons should work on it, right? Before Crix could answer, Hannah pointed the device at the moving air and pressed the button. There was a bright flash of light. The moving air suddenly became solid. The Shadow Stalker looked like a tall, thin alien made of blue electricity. It was stuck in place and could not move. There you are, Hannah said. She picked up the metal pipe again and walked over to the creature. The Shadow Stalker tried to go invisible again, but the EMP had messed up its power. It could only flicker like a broken light. Hannah hit it with the pipe. The creature made a sound like breaking electronics and fell apart into tiny pieces of light. 1 minute and 15 seconds, Hannah said, reading the timer. Better, but still not great. The crowd was making worried noises now. Some aliens were talking to each other in languages that sounded like music or machine noises. Next opponent, please, Hannah called out. The third gate opened. What came out was huge. It looked like a bear, but it was the size of a truck. Its fur was gray and thick. Its claws were as big as swords. When it walked, the whole arena floor shook. The Bone Crusher, Crix said. His voice sounded less confident now. It can heal from any wound. It has never been killed in battle. First time. For everything, Hannah said. The Bone Crusher did not charge like the first creature. It walked slowly toward Hannah. Its small eyes watched her every move. Hannah put down the EMP device and picked up a thin metal rod with a sharp point. It looked like a big needle. You plan to stab it to death? Crix asked. Something like that. The Bone Crusher reached out with one huge paw to grab her. Hannah rolled under its arm and came up beside its front leg. She jabbed the sharp rod into a spot just behind the creature's knee. The Bone Crusher roared and fell forward. Its front leg would not work right. Nerve Cluster, Hannah explained to the crowd. Hit the right spot, and it does not matter how big you are. The creature tried to stand up, but its leg was not working. It fell down again. Hannah walked around to its other front leg and jabbed the rod into the same spot. Now, both front legs were not working. The Bone Crusher could only drag itself forward with its back legs. It was angry and scared. This is taking too long, Hannah said. She climbed onto the creature's back. The Bone Crusher tried to shake her off, but she held on tight. She found a spot at the base of its skull and jabbed the rod deep into it. The creature stopped moving. Its eyes closed, and it let out a long breath. 3 minutes and 22 seconds, Hannah said. She climbed down from the dead creature and looked around the arena. Then she sat down on the creature's back like it was a chair. Okay, look, she said, talking to Crix and the crowd. I appreciate the effort, I really do. But do you have anything that might last more than a few minutes? I'm getting bored here, and your audience paid good money for a show. The arena was so quiet that Hannah could hear her own heartbeat. I mean, she continued, these things are fine for beginners, I guess. But if you want me to stay awake, you're going to need to try harder. Thousands of alien eyes stared at her. No one had ever complained that the galaxy's most feared predators were too easy to kill. Park Min-ho had been looking for Captain Lee Hannah for 3 days. His job was to find missing humans and bring them home. Usually, this meant checking hospitals or jails on alien worlds. Sometimes it meant paying bribes to get people out of trouble. He never thought he would find her on a live TV show that was being watched by half the galaxy. Sir, you need to see this, his assistant said. She pointed at the big screen in their ship. Channel 847. Nexus Prime Arena. Minho looked at the screen. There was Hannah, sitting on top of a dead monster the size of a truck. She was talking to the camera like she was giving a presentation. "What the hell is she doing?" Minho said. "I think she's complaining," his assistant said. On the screen, Hannah stood up and stretched her back. The dead creature under her was starting to smell bad. "So," Hannah said to the floating metal ball above her, "what's next? Please tell me it's something interesting." Crix's voice sounded angry now. "You dare mock the arena? You dare insult the greatest warriors in the galaxy." "I'm not insulting anyone," Hannah said. "I'm just saying that if you want a good fight, you need better fighters. These things are barely awake." The crowd was getting louder. Some aliens were cheering for Hannah. Others were making angry noises. A few were throwing things at the arena floor. "Very well," Crix said. "You want a challenge? We will give you a challenge." 3 gates opened at the same time. From the first gate came something that looked like a cloud of black smoke. From the second gate came a creature that looked exactly like Hannah, but with red eyes. From the third gate came a group of 6 wolf-like animals, each one as big as a horse. "Now we're talking," Hannah said. She walked to the weapon rack and looked at her choices. The black smoke moved toward her fast. It had no shape, but Hannah could feel something cold and hungry inside it. "The Fear Eater," Crix announced. "It feeds on terror. The more afraid you are, the stronger it gets." The smoke surrounded Hannah like a tornado. She could not see anything except black fog. Voices whispered in her ears, telling her about all the ways she was going to die. "That's nice," Hannah said. She sounded calm, like someone had told her the weather. "You guys are really trying to scare me, aren't you?" The whispers got louder. The smoke got thicker. "Here's the thing," Hannah said. She was still calm. "I grew up on a farm on Earth. When I was 8, I had to kill a bear with a kitchen knife because it was trying to eat our chickens. When I was 12, I got lost in a cave for 4 days with no food or water. When I was 16, I watched my whole town get hit by a tornado." The smoke started to move slower. The whispers sounded confused. "I joined the military when I was 18. I've been shot, stabbed, blown up, and thrown out of spaceships. I've fought pirates, rebels, and things that don't have names. So you're going to have to try a lot harder to scare me." The Fear Eater made a sound like wind through broken glass. Then it started to get smaller. Are you shrinking?" Hannah asked. "That's embarrassing." The creature that looked like Hannah stepped forward. It moved exactly like her and sounded exactly like her. "I am you," it said. "I know everything you know. I can do everything you can do." "That's interesting," Hannah said. "But you made one mistake." "What mistake?" "You look like me, but you don't know what it's like to be me." Hannah picked up a long knife from the weapon rack. The creature that looked like her picked up the same knife. They started to fight. Every time Hannah attacked, the creature blocked. Every time the creature attacked, Hannah blocked. They moved like they were dancing. But then Hannah did something strange. She grabbed her own leg with her free hand and pulled it up behind her back. "What are you doing?" the creature asked. "Something you can't copy," Hannah said. She let go of her leg and kicked the creature in the chest. The creature fell backward. Surprised, "You see," Hannah explained while the creature got back up. "You know how I fight, but you don't know how I think. You copied my body, but not my brain." She did another strange move. She threw her knife straight up in the air, did a back, and caught it while upside down. The creature tried to copy her, but it was too slow. While it was trying to catch its knife, Hannah's knife found its heart. The creature looked down at the knife in its chest. "How you know my fighting skills," Hannah said, "but you don't know my imagination." The creature fell down and turned into dust. The 6 wolf-like animals had been waiting for their turn. Now they spread out in a circle around Hannah. "Pack hunters," Hannah said. "Now this could be fun." The wolves started to move. They did not all attack at once. Instead, they took turns. While one wolf attacked from the front, another attacked from behind. While Hannah was fighting those 2, a third one attacked from the side. Hannah had to move fast. She rolled, jumped, and spun to avoid their claws and teeth. These creatures were smart. They worked together like a team. Finally, Hannah said while dodging a wolf's bite, something that requires actual thinking. But then she started to smile. "You guys are good," she told the wolves. "But you made one mistake. You're thinking like wolves." She stopped running away from them. Instead, she ran toward the biggest wolf. The wolf expected her to attack it. Instead, she grabbed it around the neck and used it as a shield. When the other wolves attacked, they had to be careful not to hurt their packmate. Humans are pack hunters too, Hannah explained to the crowd while holding the struggling wolf. "But we're better at it than you are." She threw the big wolf at two of the other wolves. All three of them crashed into the arena wall. The remaining 3 wolves tried to surround her again, but now Hannah was in control. She picked up rocks from the broken floor and threw them. Each rock hit a wolf in exactly the right spot to make it stumble. While the wolves were off balance, Hannah grabbed her knife and moved fast. In less than 30 seconds, all 6 wolves were down. 4 minutes and 56 seconds for all 3 groups, Hannah said, reading the timer. "Getting better, but still not great." She looked up at Crix's floating ball. "See, here's what you don't understand," Hannah said. "You keep sending me things that are supposed to be scary. Big teeth, sharp claws, poison, mind powers. But scary doesn't mean dangerous." She sat down on the arena floor like she was having a conversation with friends. "You want to know what makes something really dangerous? It's not being afraid. It's not giving up. It's being able to think when everything goes wrong." The crowd was completely silent. Aliens from 100 different worlds were listening to a human explain what it meant to be a predator. "Your monsters are strong and fast and scary. But they're not smart. They don't adapt. They do the same thing every time, and when that doesn't work, they don't know what to do." Hannah stood up and brushed dust off her uniform. "So," she said, "do you have anything that can actually think?" Crix was angry now. Very angry. No one had ever made him look foolish in front of billions of viewers. His floating metal ball spun faster as he thought about what to do next. "You want something that can think," Crix said. "Very well, guards. Bring out the Eternal." The crowd made scared noises. Some aliens started to leave their seats. Others covered their eyes. "What's the Eternal?" Hannah asked. She was cleaning her knife on her uniform. "It has lived for over 300 years, Crix said. "It has killed more than 1,000 fighters in this arena. It learns from every battle. It grows stronger with every death." A new gate opened. This one was bigger than all the others. The gate was so big that a spaceship could fly through it. Nothing came out for a long time. Then Hannah heard footsteps, slow, heavy footsteps. The thing that walked out of the gate was tall like a building. It had arms and legs like a human, but they were made of metal and bone mixed together. Wires and tubes ran under its skin. Its eyes glowed red like fire. Parts of its body looked like they came from different creatures. One arm was covered in scales, the other arm had fur. Its left leg was metal. Its right leg was made of something that looked like rock. "It adapts," Crix explained. "Every time someone hurts it, it changes to become stronger. Every time someone tries a new attack, it learns to defend against that attack." Hannah looked up at the creature. It was looking down at her with its red eyes. "Hello," she said. The Eternal did not answer. It just started walking toward her. For the first time since she got to the arena, Hannah felt excited. This was going to be interesting. She ran to the weapon rack and picked up everything she could carry. A sword, a gun, some grenades, and a rope. She put them all on her belt or in her pockets. The Eternal reached down with one huge hand to grab. Her Hannah rolled to the side and slashed at its fingers with her sword. The sword cut deep into the creature's hand. Black blood came out. But then something amazing happened. The cut started to close up. New skin grew over the wound, but the new skin was different. It was harder, like armor. "Interesting," Hannah said. She shot the creature in the chest with her gun. The energy bolt made a hole in its body. But again, the hole closed up. The new skin that grew was reflective, like a mirror. So you adapt to whatever hurts you, Hannah said. That's a neat trick. The Eternal swung its huge fist at her. Hannah jumped back, but the fist was so big that it still hit her. She flew across the arena and crashed into the wall. Hannah got up slowly. Her ribs hurt, and she was bleeding from her mouth. But she was smiling. Finally, she said, "Something that hits back." She threw a grenade at the creature's feet. The explosion knocked it down, but it got back up quickly. The parts of its body that had been burned now looked like metal. You learn from every attack, Hannah said. But do you learn from every mistake? She started to run around the creature in circles. The Eternal tried to grab her, but she was too fast. While she ran, Hannah thought about her friend Kim Soo-yang. They had been in the military together. Soo-yang was always better at fighting than Hannah. Soo-yang was faster, stronger, and had better aim. But Hannah was better at one thing. She was better at not giving up. When they were training, their teacher would make them run until they wanted to throw up. Then he would make them run some more. Most people would quit. Soo-yang would quit when her body could not move anymore. But Hannah would keep running. Even when her legs felt like they were going to break. Even when she could not breathe. Even when her vision got blurry. You know what's funny about humans? Hannah said to the creature while dodging another attack. We're not the fastest. We're not the strongest. We're not the smartest. She threw her rope around the creature's ankle and pulled hard. The Eternal stumbled, but did not fall. But we have one thing that beats all of that, Hannah continued. We don't quit. The creature adapted to her rope trick. Its ankles became thicker and harder to trip. So Hannah tried something else. She climbed up on its back and tried to stab it in the neck. The creature grew spikes on its back to stop her, so she tried shooting its eyes. The creature grew protective armor over its eyes, so she tried attacking its knees. The creature made its legs stronger. Every time Hannah tried something new, the creature adapted. It was learning from every attack. But Hannah was learning too. You adapt to protect yourself, she said. But what happens when those adaptations become problems? She started attacking the creature's right arm over and over. The arm became covered in thick armor to protect it. The armor was so thick that the arm became heavy and slow. Then she started attacking its left leg. The leg became stronger, but also bigger. Now the creature was off balance because one leg was much bigger than the other. Then she attacked its head. The creature grew a helmet of bone to protect its brain, but the helmet was so big that it could not see very well. You see, Hannah explained to the crowd while the creature stumbled around trying to catch her. Adaptation is good, but too much adaptation is bad. The Eternal was getting frustrated. It had adapted to every attack, but now it could barely move. Its body was covered in so much armor and spikes and protective skin that it looked like a mountain. Humans figured this out a long time ago, Hannah said. She was breathing hard, but she was not tired. We call it evolution. Sometimes, getting better at one thing makes you worse at everything else. The creature tried to grab her again, but its arms were so heavy with armor that it moved like it was underwater. Hannah climbed up on its back again. This time, the creature could not grow spikes because it had already used all its energy-making armor. You adapted to survive my attacks, Hannah said. She found a spot where all the different types of skin met. But you forgot to adapt to survive yourself. She pushed her knife into the weak spot between the different adaptations. The creature's own armor was so heavy that it could not move. To stop her, the Eternal made a sound like breaking glass. Then it fell forward and did not get up. Hannah stood on top of the fallen creature. She was covered in sweat and blood, but she was still smiling. 12 minutes and 37 seconds, she said, reading the timer. Now that was worth my time. She looked up at Crix's floating ball. Okay, this one was actually interesting. But seriously, do any of you understand what makes something a true predator? It's not size or claws or acid blood. It's the refusal to quit. The arena was so quiet that Hannah could hear her own heartbeat. Most things give up when the going gets tough. But the real predators, We keep going when everyone else stops. Admiral Jang Hyok was watching the arena broadcast from his flagship. His fleet of 20 ships was getting ready to attack Nexus Prime Station. But now he was not sure if they needed to attack at all. "Sir," his communications officer said, "we're getting calls from all over the galaxy. Everyone wants to talk to us about humans." "What kind of calls?" Jang asked. "Trade offers, defense contracts. Some aliens want to hire human soldiers, others want to study us. A few are asking if we want to buy their planets." On the screen, Hannah was still standing on top of the Eternal's body. She looked tired but happy. "I think," Jang said slowly, "we might not need the big guns for this rescue." Back in the arena, Crix was very quiet. His floating metal ball had stopped spinning. For the first time in 50 years of running arena fights, he did not know what to say. The crowd was making strange noises. Some aliens were cheering. Others sounded scared. A few were trying to leave, but there were too many people in the way. "Well," Hannah said, looking up at Crix, "what's next? Please tell me you have something better than that." "There is nothing better," Crix said. His voice sounded small. "The Eternal was our strongest creature. It was supposed to be impossible to kill." "Impossible for who?" Hannah asked. "Your other fighters probably tried to outmuscle it or outspeed it. I just outthought it." She climbed down from the dead creature and walked to the center of the arena. She looked around at all the aliens watching her. "You know what your problem is?" she said to the crowd. "You've been looking for the perfect predator in all the wrong places." Hannah pointed at the body of the Razor Maw. "You think big teeth make something dangerous?" She pointed at where the Shadowstalker had died. "You think being invisible makes something scary?" She pointed at the Eternal. "You think being able to adapt makes something unstoppable?" She started walking in a circle, so everyone could see her. "But the most dangerous predator is the one that doesn't look like a predator at all. The one that your prey doesn't see coming until it's too late." An alien in the crowd shouted something in a language that sounded like singing. Other aliens started shouting too. "What are they saying?" Hannah asked Crix. "They want to know what makes humans so dangerous," Crix said. "They thought humans were weak. Small bodies, no claws, no natural armor." Hannah laughed. "We are weak. Compared to most of the things I just fought, humans are tiny and soft. A house cat could probably hurt us." The crowd got quieter. They wanted to understand. "But here's the thing," Hannah continued, "we didn't get to the top of our food chain by being the biggest or the strongest. We got there by being the smartest, and by never, ever giving up." She picked up a rock from the broken arena floor. "You see this rock? A human invented a tool to throw rocks farther and harder. Then we invented better tools. Then we invented tools to make better tools. We kept going until we had tools that could crack planets." She threw the rock at the arena wall. It made a small crack, but the tools aren't what make us dangerous. Any species can learn to use tools. What makes us dangerous is that we don't stop. Hannah looked around at the crowd again. "Every creature I fought today gave up when things got hard. The Razor Maw tried one attack, and when it failed, it just tried the same attack again. The Shadowstalker had one trick, and when that stopped working, it panicked. Even the Eternal, for all its adapting, was just reacting to what I did." She started walking toward the weapon rack again. "Humans don't just react. We plan, we think ahead. We try something, and if it doesn't work, we try something else. And if that doesn't work, we try a third thing, and a fourth, and we keep trying. Until something works." A new voice spoke over the arena speakers. It was not Crix this time. "This is Admiral Jang Hyok of the Human Federation Fleet. We have come to collect our citizen." The crowd looked up. Through the transparent dome above the arena, they could see human spaceships surrounding the station. "Admiral," Hannah called out, waving at the ceiling. "Perfect timing. I was just explaining to everyone why humans are scary." "Are you injured, Captain?" the Admiral's voice asked. "Just a few bruises, nothing serious. But I think I might have accidentally started a diplomatic incident." Crix's voice came back on. Admiral, your human has killed 5 of our greatest predators. She has embarrassed the arena in front of billions of viewers. I see, Admiral Zhang said. Captain Li, do you have anything to say about this? Hannah thought for a moment. Well, they did kidnap me and try to feed me to monsters. So I think we're even. No, said a new alien voice. This voice was different from Crick's. It sounded older and more important. We are not even. Who is that? Hannah asked. I am Supreme Commander Vorthok of the Galactic Council. Captain Li, your demonstration has been ... educational. Glad I could help. For centuries, we have been looking for the ultimate warrior species. We tested strength, speed, natural weapons, and special abilities. We never thought to test persistence and creativity. The Supreme Commander paused. We have made an error. Humans are not prey species. You are the predators. You are what we have been looking for. Hannah sat down on the arena floor. She was getting tired of standing. Look, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm just one person. Most humans aren't soldiers. Most of us just want to live quiet lives and raise families and grow food. That, said the Supreme Commander, is what makes you truly terrifying. Admiral Zhang's voice came back. Captain Li, we're sending a transport to pick you up. Try not to kill anything else while you wait. No promises, Hannah said. She looked at Crix's floating ball. So, what happens now? Do I win a prize or something? You have won something much more valuable than a prize, the Supreme Commander said. You have won the respect of the galaxy. Great. Can I trade that for a hot meal and a shower? As the human transport ship landed in the arena, Hannah stood up and brushed dust off her uniform one more time. Oh, one more thing, she said to the crowd. Next time you want to test a human, maybe just ask nicely first. We're actually pretty helpful when you don't try to feed us to monsters. She walked toward the transport ship, then stopped and turned back. And seriously, if you want a real challenge, try fighting a human who's actually trying to win. I was just having fun. The transport ship door closed, and Captain Li Hannah was gone. The arena was quiet for a long time. Then, slowly, the aliens started to talk. They had a lot to think about.